Welcome back to Africa 54. You may have met someone who is albino. Albinism is a genetic condition characterized by lack of pigment that normally gives color to the skin, hair, and eyes. Tanzania has one of the largest populations of albinos in Africa, more than 150,000. Approximately 8,000 are registered with the Tanzania Albino Society, but many continue to face persecution and sometimes are killed for body parts. Viewers, Ndiho has our story.
Since 2008, albinos have been killed in Tanzania, forcing hundreds of people with albinism to go into hiding. Across Africa, millions are constantly in fear for their lives. In the East African nation of Tanzania, they are under the threat from illegal body part traders. In Tanzania and Nigeria, there has been unprecedented rise in witchcraft-related killings of albino people in recent years. Some people still believe albino body parts can bring good luck. Activist Peter Ash says that in the past, albino hunters have pursued high-profile albinos, including a Tanzanian member of parliament.
Police have reported that there are 5 men pursuing the life of Mr. Barwani. They've been following him around with criminal intentions. We don't know if they want Mr. Barwani because of his body parts or if there's some other motive for their following. But he is under security protection of the police at this time, and we certainly want to offer our complete support to Mr. Barwani during this time.
An organization founded by Canadians with albinism is trying to protect albino children. For these children in northern Tanzania, a move to private boarding schools may have saved their lives.
I've taken children from overcrowded government schools, Mitindo, where there was at one point 105 children with albinism, living in overcrowded conditions, and now we have transferred those kids into high-quality private boarding schools.
People with albinism face social challenges, commonly have vision problems and need sun protection. Mike McGowan is president of the National Organization for Albinism and Hypopigmentation, or NOAA. He says he was horrified to hear about the reports of killings of Africans with albinism.
There is a need, I think, for fellowship because we share this experience of being different, and we need to learn how to deal with being different and looking different. And NOAA provides that place for people that share the condition to come together.
Activist Jack Epele says he is concerned about the plight of albinos in Nigeria. He says albinos on the continent have long been ignored, mocked and hunted.
My classmates, in trying to create funds, will drag me to the sun and then hold my hands and hold my face and face me to the sun, you know. It was very excruciating for me, so now I know why I have a lot of freckles in my face.
42-year-old Nigerian Femeki Hande has albino children. She says that she has kept her family intact, but it's been a struggle.
Some people even telling me up to that day, when I have the first and I have the second, say I should go and hide them so that the remaining people will not be like that. That maybe I should go and give them one of their church members. I should go and give them to my mommy. I said, okay, go and hide my children because of it. Let them be.
Several international groups are committed to making sure that the world knows about the plight of albinos in Africa. Paul Ndiho, VOA News.
Well, for more perspectives on albinism, we are joined by Susan Dubois, founder and executive director, Asante Mariamu, an organization dedicated to raising awareness about the ongoing human rights crisis facing people with albinism in East Africa. She is also a founding member of the World Albinism Alliance. Ms. Dubois, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, you've been doing a lot of good work, and we have to start by saying you actually have children with albinism?
Yes, I have two children with albinism. My son is 13 and a half and my daughter is 12.
Now, just tell us, what exactly are the challenges that a person with albinism has to face every day, other than the obvious challenges we see of, skin color and perhaps, some other physical and visual problems we see?
Well, here in the United States, the most common thing that you would face would be challenges associated with the visual impairment. Most people with albinism have a significant degree of visual impairment, but you also have to protect yourself from the sun, and you're very, very sensitive to bright lights. And in America, if you have albinism, you'd be subject to teasing sometimes. You might have a tough time in school. But in general, you have a very normal life, and you can do anything that most people do, except maybe drive a car or fly a plane. But in East Africa, it's very, very different. People with albinism there face much different challenges.
And Tanzania, where we've just talked about Tanzania in the package, you are actually there doing some work there.
Yes.
Tell us exactly how you are, kind of helping those who are suffering from this issue.
Well, we work with partners on the ground like the Tanzania Albino Society and others to provide awareness to people with albinism about how to protect themselves from skin cancer, and also to the general population about the truth about albinism, that it is not a curse, that it simply is a genetic condition. We also provide relief in the form of sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, and low vision devices, and opportunities for economic empowerment through education and other training.
You have a few items here
Yes.
you brought along. You say you use this to help them. Show us some
Yes.
of them and tell us what you do.
You might have noticed in the piece that children with albinism or people with albinism tend to get very close to things to see them.
Yeah.
So what this magnifier will do will allow them to look at the printed page here and not have to strain over.
Yeah.
This is called a monocular, and it's really like a little binocular. You'd use it to focus on things like the blackboard. It's an essential tool for a student to use in school. And in America, they're very common and we have access to them. But in places like Tanzania, students do not have access to these kind of tools. So we bring them. We also train the children on how to use them, and we train the teachers on how to meet the kids' needs in the classrooms.
Now, in a situation like, of that in Tanzania, where you're both confronted with poverty in some of these cases, but superstition.
Yes.
How has it been like, perhaps, working with the community itself and also with individual families?
That's a very important part of what we do, and we respect the fact that most people in Tanzania hold very strongly held religious beliefs that surround the different cultural beliefs that they have, but we also recognize that we need to teach them the genetic origins of albinism. And once we do that, we find that we can really change the perception without changing the nature of traditional medicine and the traditional beliefs that the people in these villages do hold.
And how much has it helped for you particularly to connect with those who have children with albinism in Africa, given that you have your own children with albinism?
It's been significant, and in fact, it's been one of the most rewarding and I think helpful things about the work that we've done over there, to be able to say to a mother or a father, your child will be okay as long as you can protect them from the sun. We recognize that there are significant threats, but we also know that the violence against people with albinism is only a small part of what they face. Most people with albinism die from skin cancer. So we talk parent to parent about how to protect your children from skin cancer. It's entirely preventable.
Yeah. Very briefly, tell us about an upcoming conference on albinism.
We're heading to Tanzania in 3 weeks to help the Tanzania Albino Society put together the first International Albinism Conference in Africa. It's part of their National Albino Day. We're very excited about it, and we look forward to sharing the awareness and sharing our message and teaching people all about albinism in Tanzania.
Come on, tell us about it when you're done.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dubois. Susan Dubois is the founder and executive director at Asante Mariamu, an organization dedicated to raising awareness about the human rights crisis facing people with albinism in East Africa.